Hey guys, Sunstreaker Wozza here. Welcome back to another Thursday live stream where, yes, we're going to be covering all the latest Transformers Earth Wars info. So today, just to name a few things we're going to be going through, we're going to be looking at the new HQ18 defenses that have come out today. And we're going to be taking a look at the HP involved and what bots might be able to cope with that, which bots won't. So we're taking a look at that today, and maybe that could change the way that your war team works. I know it has for me especially. So we're going to be talking a bit about that today as well. We're going to talk about the new prime cores and sort of deciding on which ones are worth getting, which ones maybe aren't, which ones might be getting above, why some of them got pushed back. So we're going to be talking a bit about that as well. We're going to be taking a look about the Lions HQ. So they've talked about it in the stream today, but I'm going to sort of go through it again and sort of give my view on and my take on it and what I think of it. We're going to look at the 5-star batch. We've got them all in testing. I'm going to show their sort of base stats. Now I've got to say that again, I always do a sort of disclaimer, but they are in the first week of testing. This is not finalized, but I'd like to show you guys on what we got when we first got them, what we want to do with them, what our suggestions are, and then you can see the final products when it comes to the game and sort of see the changes that the playtesters and the apes sort of put into these bots. It sort of gives you an idea on what we do behind the scenes of playtest, so I like to do that. And then we're going to take a quick look at the new combat. And again, this is not finalised, I feel, and I'll tell you why, and we'll talk a bit about that later on as well. But before I start, a couple of things. If the sound is not very good, let me know. I'm trying a whole new mic out, so you see no headset. So we're going to try with the boom mic from now on. I was basically doing my videos with Tex and Co, which I'll talk about in a minute. And I started using this mic. It just seemed a lot clearer, a lot better. So yeah, we're going to try this mic from now on, and let me know if it sounds better or not. Let me know. But I do want to give a big shout out to Freezius, to Grind Time, and especially to Tex for helping me out, because we have finished. I've just got to produce them and create them. The next series of unpopular opinions. So got a lot of good feedback from the last lot, and I did say that I would do them again. It's just finding time. Obviously, I'm manic busy over Christmas. We had a mad January, which is not usual, to be fair, in my line of work. But things are stabilising now, so I thought, yes, now's the time to get it done. So we have got 8 of those videos in the series. I've created 2, 3, almost 3. I've got to produce the rest, and they'll be posting probably every other week over the next month or 2. So watch out for them. I've also done a video with Tex. That's why I say especially Tex, because we spent a long time. I mean, over all these, I think we've probably spent about 6 hours creating content. So I spent 3 hours on the creating the unpopular opinions, because there's obviously 4 of us talking about general things, and I also try and cut that right down, so it's a long series doing 8 videos all in one go. So big shout out to, like I said, Freeze, Grind Time, and Tex for helping me do those. And then me and Tex rated every 5-star batch for the new HQ 18.2. That should be coming out in the next few weeks also. And then me and Tex also finish off today with rating the top 10 bots for HQ 18, which we compared to last year. We sort of predicted last year what we thought would be the best bots for HQ 18, and I thought we'd look back again without looking at our last list, make a new list and see how that compares. So yeah, it was good to go through that, so a big shout out to them and a big thank you. So yeah, but let's have a look who we've got in our chat. So we've got Stay Puff, Penny Lancaster, Chris Harmon, thanks for joining. And don't forget, guys, if you want to be in with a shout of winning a $30 gift card, then consider becoming a platinum member. I offer like one-to-ones for people, a special members chat. When I create all these videos, so obviously you got to think I'm probably creating about 3 hours of videos over the next few weeks or so. And I make them available to members straight away. So I will post them over the next 2 months, but members, they get access to that straight away. So all little perks for members, but platinum members going for a $30 gift card draw every other month. and that is due end of this month. But I have said, listen, if I get over 20 members, because I'm getting more, obviously, income coming in, I'm wanting to give more out. And I have said I will up it to a $50 gift card if we get above 20 members. We've been close a couple of times. I say people become members and then don't, and other people become members. I think we're currently at about 17, 18. So if we get to 20 members, I will make it a $50 gift card end of this month. So if you want to be in with a shout of that, then consider being a member. And I have been asking for codes. Honestly, I have. I've asked Dale 3 times. I asked Dale. He said, yeah, I'll get them to you. I asked Dale again. He said, oh, I've had some problems with them, so I need to get them sorted. I went, okay. And I've asked him again today. And I get he is busy. And we're going to talk a bit about that later on as well. But, yeah, codes are to come. I'm going to ask for double the codes if I can. Just so I can give some out. I've given some out for quite a while now. But I have been asking, but we'll see. Then we've got Jason Rowley, we've got Venga Prime, how's it going, buddy? MD Prime, Freezes Max, speak of the devil. Then we've got Esclahose, obviously Grind Time as well, thanks for joining, bud. Alpha Tryon 1, Lord Avix, Ricky Lau, Erods, Terrence Inc. says greetings from the CMP family. Greetings to you too, buddy. Kill Cannon, Volcanicus, Robert C4, The Mercenary Terror, Matt Poley. Who else have we got? We've got MD Prime, Chip Cox. We've got Gerrit. We've got Renovan Holland. We've got Hellraiser. How's it going? Who else have we got? Apologies if I've missed anyone. Cool, and I think that is everyone. Thank you everyone for joining. Okay, let's go through the newsletter, talk about the latest news, and then we can crack on with the subjects I want to talk about as well. So, bar week right now, week Ninibong, week 3 of the saga. So, we're doing a lot of voting for events. What do you think of that? Do you like the votes? I kind of get that, you know, if we vote, then on the whole, they're going to get that right. But obviously not always, but hey. For this event, it's 1 million points, and it's 1,000 5-star shards, some 4-star shards, some 3-star shards, some prems, plenty of spark, plenty of combat spark, which is always useful, some combat premium chips, and some power cores as well. Obviously, all the rewards scattered throughout, with the obviously G-Metal power cores coming towards the end and a higher chunk of 5-star shards right at the end as well. It's the normal battle zones as usual, not a 10-point event. Woo. And then we've got the new Prime cores that are live in the game today. Went and pulled mine. I pulled Vector Prime, which I'm super pleased about. It was the pick of the bunch for me, and I'll explain again why later on. We'll go through what I'm putting them on, why I'm putting them on them, things like that. But yeah, very, very good cores. Again, we'll talk a bit about them later. And then HQ18.2 is in the game now as well. So we're talking a bit about what I'm upgrading and why. And the upgrades are beam lasers, the shield gen, shock towers, and laser turrets. Now there's something in here that's caused a bit of a fuss. And people sort of seeing these little whatever emblems next to the shocks. And people are like, what are they? I don't know. It's a bit of a strange one, isn't it? It is. We asked Dale, and he was suspiciously quiet. And it makes me think that something is coming in Phase 3. And Yanis said that there was some defences, but not new defences. So I thought we'd just get more of what we've got. But we haven't yet. We haven't had anything of more of what we've got. So I haven't had more shock towers or more plasma, more beam lasers or more mortars, anything like that. So it makes you think, like, you know, is it all coming to HQ 18.3? But they have also said everything's going to change with HQ 18. So are these where you'll be able to transform your defences and make them act a bit different? I have asked for that, because you can do that in Clash of Clans. You can sort of set your arch tower to fire twice as fast, but at a shorter range. So you can, you know, fire like mortars. So fire, break, fire, break, or you can change it so it goes fire, 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 but at a shorter distance. So you lose the range, which could be interesting, because then you can change the range of your defenses to long range or short range. But I presume that the shorter range ones will have a longer range, and the longer range one will be able to choose a shorter range. I hope that is the case. I'm not too sure, I'm not too confident. That's nothing like behind the scenes, I'm just sort of guessing. That's something I suggested a long time ago. But you literally are talking a long time ago, like a year ago, to maybe longer. But yeah, be interesting to see what that is, because I've no idea really. So we'll have to wait and see. I'll try and get an answer for you guys, but I'll have to wait and see. Then obviously go and check out all your content creators, myself, Engineer Hoist, Freezius, Max, and Soldier. And then Grind Time does his streams as well, so make sure you go and check him out as well. We've got Tex's picture. He did send me this actually as well. Optimus Prime and Nemesis Prime do look pretty cool. Not got a clue who that is. Mine might. Oh, yeah, pretty good actually. Yeah, that's not bad actually. I'll give him that. Not bad picture. And then we've got bug fixes and improvement. So Alchemist Prime. This caused a massive fuss actually in the Cybertron chat. So it says this will now no longer heal under acid effects. And people were saying, yeah, acid's got a bit OP now because it does stop everything to do with healing. And it should, if I'm honest. It does say acid prevents healing. It shouldn't have exceptions. I don't like exceptions because then it gets confusing for people. Because people will start looking at this and taking it at face value and saying, hang on a minute, why is it healing? I put acid down. So I do agree with the change. You know, the Alchemist should stop healing under acid. So yeah. The big one is the Flare Mine. The trigger area has been increased incredibly big. Which makes it a lot easier to sort of combat sack. There is some changes that still need to be made to it actually, because we'll talk about that as well when we talk about HQ18. But some good changes have been made. It does say that the speed reduction effect has been replaced by fire damage over time. That wasn't in test, so I'm not got a clue what that even does. But as long as it actually catches blur, that's all I really care about. You know, I don't think it needs to do anything else other than catch bots that are invisible or fast or whatever. But I'm glad it is working. But what they have done is, because the MSM mine is really powerful, because you've got the flare mine now is really, really good, coupled with the MSM, they wanted to improve the glass gas mine, because we all said that no one's going to use that. So they've actually done a good job of this, to be fair. And the area effect has increased. So this will pretty much catch your whole team. If the mine is on the edge of the launch pad and your tank hits it, it will hit your medics and your gunners. So, incredibly powerful. So, you do need to keep an eye out for that. And I can see more people will use glass gas rather than MSM to counter walks, possibly. And I like that. Listen, I've always said, and people take me wrong, I've always said that I don't want to kill sack. I don't want to make it so you can never sack a base ever again. I want to have the choice to maybe defend against it. Now, if you use glass gas and don't use MSM, that's fine. That base should be sackable. I'm fine with that, no problem, because you've chosen to do that. But it got to a point where you couldn't defend against blur no matter what you did. You didn't have the choice, and that was always my argument, that you don't have the choice to defend. And it's always been from a defensive point of view. It's not more. I'm not against if you sack, but me, I want to be able to defend it. I want to choose to defend it, plain and simple. And I could never do that. I couldn't do it with Goldfire hardly until the MSM come out, and I was happy, and then Blur come out and just sort of went back, took it back a year. So, you know, I'm happy with the changes that they are. We did talk about 6 mines, but that was back when the flare mine had the first increase. So it's had a massive increase now. So I'm fine with it staying as 4 if it's a compromise between 4 or 6. So I'm fine with that. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, looking forward to that coming, you know, over the next few weeks, see how it works in the game. So yeah. So look at the chat, see what people are saying. The Mercy Teleport. I wonder if Wozza's unaware about all the people talk about barbecues in the States. No, I'd seen the best, but I ain't got a clue why I talk about barbecue. I know someone said about Texas barbecue, but yeah. I love that. That's the conversation about just about barbecues. People saying that they don't like the votes. It sucks, but yeah. Praises, but that's because you want 2 million a week, Chris. So Penny Lanka support. If you look at the other part of the shield gen, it looks to be a smaller image. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean there. Look at the other part of the shield gen. It looks to be a smaller image. I don't know what you mean. Let me know. But yeah, I do think it's an option. I do. I thought it was just a failed picture. It could be, to be fair. I wouldn't put it past them. I don't know. It doesn't look like a shock tower, really. It doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know. What are these orange bits here? And I don't know. Is it the new defense that's there? I don't know. Maybe it's a new defense. So I have to wait and see. But yeah. Okay, let's go into the game and have a look at HQ18. Oh, I think I've just opened. Try again. Cool. Here we are, HQ18.2. Add that in. So yeah, some like I said, big upgrades. So the first, obviously, we'll look at is beam lasers. So beam lasers had a increase up to. In fact, let's have a look in hard mode, Prime League hard mode, and then we can go backwards from there. So beam lasers have had a buff, so now they will be 10,560. So looking at some bots, so that will be out of range of Jetfire. Jetfire will no longer be able to one-shot beam lasers. I know I'm talking in my chat today saying, what do you use Jetfire for? Just out of interest. I'm just saying beam lasers, launchers, shield gen. I was like, and Billbots, I was like, it's quite expensive for us to kill a Billbot. There's cheaper options. But beam lasers, not anymore. Shield gen, not anymore. The shield gen will go up to 12,480 HP. Now, I do need to add a bit of a disclaimer that the apes are looking to maybe reducing these effects, so it won't be as much. I think it's currently at 30% HP and DPS, so they will probably be reduced down to, I don't know, 25, 20. I don't know what the magic number is that they want to make hard mode hard, and I don't think they'll go back on the one shots. I think Jetfire might be able to one shot the beams, but other than that, I think we're okay where we'll be around that, where 10k ish for beams, whatever that might be. So this might get reduced, but Dale said that they'll look at this over the next week or two. But people are going to coin these defenses. So for the next week or two, this is what these defenses will be if they have been coined. So you really need to scout and keep an eye out for these, because some shield gens, Jetfire will be able to one-shot. Some he won't. Same for beams for the time being. Now, if that does change, I'm sure they'll let us know, and I will cover it in the stream. For the time being, this is what the HP will be. So 12,480, which is you know, crazy. And then looking at Billbots. Billbots are 5,880 health. So I have covered this previously, but if you do take Billbots out with Smokescreen, you're gonna need a volatile mixture on him. With his G1, he can two-shot Billbots, and we'll have a go with this sort of later on. But he can't two-shot Billbots unless he's got volatile mixture. So you need to make a choice, really. Do you want Smokescreens to take out Billbots, and so needs volatile mixture, or do you want him still to do damage against outpost bots and combiners, which means that you're better with his G1? But I like it in a way that it's a playoff either way. Everyone uses G1, really. No one really uses volatile mixture, but now for Billbots you're going to have to. So again, it's your choice. What do you want to do? Shock towers are going up to 14,500 HP. They will be impossible to one-shot by any single bot. So you're going to have to combo these in some way. So I can see a lot of people putting prime cores on these because they can't be hacked in any way. and they can't be one-shotted. So I can see most people putting most prime cores on these. So you need a way to weaken these down and kill them, because you can't get close to these liege cores, and Megatronus you can't leave burning for too long. The range on that is, you can see there, it's almost half, or quarter the base, should say. So absolutely crazy HP and absolutely crazy damage when put with a prime core. So be careful of that. Next up on the upgrades, turrets. So turrets have had an upgrade, we can find one. And they will be 10,560 as well. So out of range of one shots. So all these defenses have got HP. You've got like a, HP upgrades of turrets. That's times 5, is it? 5 turrets? 4. So 4 turrets HP. You've got shock towers times 2. You've got beams times 3. You've got billbots times 5. All this HP goes in towards making time traps a lot harder, and I feel we're going to see an increase in time traps. But yeah, absolutely crazy increases in HP, making it a lot harder. People are flaming out on base 2 in test and sort of saying this is a bit too hard. And yes, we were testing with all the prime cores maxed out, a bit of all the defenses maxed out, but we'll start seeing this in a few weeks, so the difficulty is up there. But bear with it, we are still testing it, we are still sort of running some war still, but our general feedbacks, we're sort of 50-50. Half are saying they're happy with it, half are saying that it needs a decrease, but it probably needs a bit of a decrease now, but I'm more worried for HQ 18.3, and we are going to need some sort of increase in attack, whether that's fast like combiners, whether that's level 70, we don't know yet, we don't know. But bots are going to need a bit of a bump if this is difficulties. So even Cybertron's going to be quite difficult, and we'll look at that in a minute as well. So yeah, I can imagine we're going to get some sort of either. I see they can decrease the effects in primary hard mode, but they can't decrease the Cybertron effects. So that's something a bit different. But looking at standard Cybertron effects, the shield gen will be 9,360. So you're going to need a maxed 5-star Jetfire, maybe a maxed Firefly, just about to take that out. Beam lasers, turrets are going to be 7,920 health, so around 8k damage. So I think gunners will just about take them out. Cannons we know got to 9.5, so again talking Jetfire, maybe Firefly, take them out. Mortars are 8,760, and shocks will go up to 10,920. So to take them out, you're gonna need SG Jetfire basically, rather than Jetfire to take them out. So considerable HP. But yeah, some good upgrades, and we will see how it goes. So if it does get too difficult, guys, just let them know in Discord. We don't have to kick off and everything. Just say, listen, this is a bit over the top. But we are still testing, but give us a week or two, and we may get it balanced out a bit better. But yeah. MD Prime, when are they going to add new zones with all these new upgrades? There won't be new zones, sadly. I think that all these will go into Zone 16. And Zone 15 even. Zone 15 has been crazy. I faced a pretty much maxed out base today in Zone 15. I had my Titan, Combiner, and 5 bots, and still lost in Zone 15, which is ridiculous if you think about it, especially using a Combiner at level 22, whatever my Sky Rain is. So level 22 Combiner, my Titan, and their Titan was level 16, so my Titan still won, and I still didn't beat the base because it had MDS, it had a shield gen HQ18, it had obviously HQ18 building, HQ18 mortars and things, Combiner active. It was just stupid, it really was, in Zone 15. The walls were low level, but walls are not going to stop you. They're not. Walls alone are not going to stop you, so I don't know why they're so highly weighted, and it really needs to change. I've been saying this since HQ18 was released. The weighting of... In fact, I've been saying it since HQ17, that the weights of defences are way off and need changing. Way off. most people have one building skip left before release today, so I think most did shield gen. Yes, we're going to talk about that shortly anyway, what I did. Pin Lancaster, Perceptor can hack a shock tower. I don't think he can. If he can, he shouldn't be able to. So, keep that in mind, that if he can. But I don't think he can. Last Science put, I foresee a lot of alliances teaming up after the new mode drops. So many alliances hover at 30 players. Hopefully so. Will the Megatronus Defense Core hit the Titan battle if close enough to cause damage to the opposing Titan? Could you test that? I won't today, but I will do. But even if it does, it shouldn't sort of get fixed. So I wouldn't bank on it anyway. Every time I hear Firefly, I don't think of Transform. I think of Batman. What? I've never heard of Firefly and Batman, but hey. And Raise the Horn, welcome to the stream as well with the clutch right at the end there. Welcome. So what upgrades have I done? In fact, we'll look at my actual base. We'll go for test server for a minute and look at my actual base. So who went out skank raided for resources today? I've not skank raided for a while actually. I've been just getting medals and stuff just for boredom really, I'm honest. During the week, 'cause I don't have to do tech tree anymore. But when this all hit, I had enough for my shield gen. Put it all into that. I had enough just for my build bots, but one of them I didn't have enough for. So I went skank raiding. Grand Sam, I did. Matt Poley, I'm doing it right now. Venga Prime, same. Yep. Pin Lancaster was hard to get resources today. Everyone was using them. Jason Rose on vacation. Oh, you're missing out, buddy. You're missing out. So I have skipped my shield gen. My shield gen is done. I've done 3 build bots, and someone said in the side chat today, which build bot should I do? I said it doesn't matter. If you upgrade 3 build bots, say, you can switch them at a later date. It's not like it's set. It's not like that is a raid blocker build bot. You can change the core. So don't worry too much. Yes, I have done my 3 raid blockers because I wanted to. But I can change them if needs be at a later date. But they are the 3 that I've chosen to upgrade. Once they are upgraded, I'm going to upgrade the 2 build bots. That's going to be the next 2. I've currently got my shock towers. Shock tower. What do you mean the shock tower? Okay, I'm fine now. So 1 shock tower and... Am I going blind? Where's the shock tower gone? Oh my god, I can't find it. Why can't I find my shock tower? That's bizarre. Oh, there it is, hiding there. 2 shock towers. So yes, 2 shock towers being upgraded. Once they're both upgraded, then yes, they will have that will get liège maximum because it'd be harder to one shot. But for now, the cannon's got more HP. The cannon's got 9,480. The shot's got less for now. But doing both my shock towers, and that will get liège, and that will get Megatronus. So that's what I'm upgrading right now. Once they are finished, I will do my 2 remaining build bots, and then I'll probably do my 2 beam lasers as well. 3 beam lasers, 2, whatever I've got left. So 2 or 3 beam lasers, and then after that, then I will do my turrets, and then I will finally do my harvesters. I actually left these thinking that HQ18.2 was coming faster than it did. I didn't want to start my upgrades, and then HQ18.2 dropped, and I was already full of upgrades. So I laid off. But, yeah. They still need doing. But let's be honest, it's no big deal. I'm not missing much. Flare mine. So I have upgraded my base. So the way I've set mine out, we've got a motion sensing mine at the front there. We've got a motion sensing mine top right there. We've got a motion sensing mine top left there. But now we have the flare mine, and that is the new flare mine radius. And if Blur even travels through that, then that will cause him to get caught in the MSM. Now, you can see there that it doesn't quite cover everything. So it can't cover the edge of the bases. So right now, You can pop there, you can go up there, you can go around the edges. So you can use bots still, but it's going to be hard to pop all the outposts. You can probably pop the top ones and the bottom one, but you're going to struggle to get across the base. That's the way I see it. I am getting reports that the idea is that it stops any bot that goes invisible, but I do believe that Cup's shield that covers him isn't currently working with this. I haven't tested it with Blur, but I haven't tested. But obviously, we know that we test these things in test. Doesn't really mean that it happens in live. And so this might change at some point. In terms of Cup, I imagine it will. But for now, Cup's not negated by this. But you can see there, might make a couple of changes to bring these build bots within the radius. But my idea is to cut this top section out so it can't go upwards. You'll still be able to go downwards, maybe pop the bottom outpost, maybe with Blur. But listen, again, I'm fine. People trying to find ways around it. We've made it more difficult. And I'm glad about that. You know, I can hopefully defend against it now. But you can even see there that I've not quite nailed it. I've nailed the middle bit, but not quite all of it. So I probably need to make a few changes. So I think the radius is just about right. But let me know what you think. You know, are you happy with these changes? Are you not happy? Are you not happy simply because you're a sack player and you don't like that it's going to be harder? Or do you think it's too far? Do you think 6 mines would have been more reasonable with a shorter range of the flare? Let me know in the comments what you think. Going on to Prime Core. So I have mentioned about Prime Cores, about Megatronus being on a shock tower. And obviously Liege being on anything with high HP, really. But you've got to make sure your Megatronus is on either an MDS or a shock tower, so it's not hackable. That's a really important thing. So MDS wise, so I've got Vector on a MDS, and it is quite scary killing the MDS for it to still be there. It is quite ridiculous. So we've got it on there. We've got Micronus on the cannon in the middle there, and we've got Alchemist in the middle there. I might change this round. I've not 100% been set on this, but yeah. It's a bit of a deadly cluster that. It heals very, very quickly. I've put Alchemist on a launcher because of the range, so it's always going to be doing damage, really, until it's taken out. That's what you want. You want it on a defense that is going to be attacking. So you see there, the equipped defense and defenses nearby heal themselves for a quarter of the damage they deal. So whatever damage they do, a quarter of that they're going to heal back for. So keep that in mind. So let's have a look at the chat here a minute. Yeah, everyone's been doing some skank raids. Alpha Triangle got Vector Prime Defense Core today. Any suggestions? Well, there you go. What I told you. Got 2 lasers, 2 shocks, and a BB current upgrade, and that's not bad choices. Not bad. Use my skipping my shield gen. Now I have my BB upgrade and a beam laser. Lord Avix did lots of skank raids. Good man, good man. Put on either your strongest defense on the HQ. We did say that. Imagine putting Vector on the HQ. That'd be interesting. Okay, surely not. No, let's just make sure that can't happen. It can't happen on test, but you never know on live, do you? Got my shield gen and all my build bots done. Now shock towers. Yeah, the build bots as well. Don't forget, guys, the build bots are only a week, so you want to coin them. It is a low amount, so it'd be like 3.5, 7, 10.5. It'd be like 15k coins, which is about $20, really, something around that to sort of coin them. Maybe a bit more, $30. You want to coin them, but you get the cells as well. So, yeah. Gonna see Vector on the MDS all the time. Watch you since you can't do the HQ. Yeah, I think so. I think everyone will do that, really. Just put a vid in the members chat. Perceptor is still hacking shock towers. I don't think he should though. But hey, if you can take advantage of it, then do it. The more buildings, the more bandwidth is used. More buildings might crash the game. They are prepared. No, I think they're at a good place now where they've sort of they're doing a lot of things behind the scenes to improve the game. So I think we're sort of past that a bit, Is Blaster a good outpost bot? Yeah, it's a lot good for HP. If you use his G1 core as well to stun, it's going to stun for a long time. 4 minions, it's going to stun a lot. So, yeah. Ironman's put the stream is lagging. Is it okay for everyone else? Let me know. If the stream is lagging or it's glitching, then let me know. I have sort of set it to a high setting as well to see how it goes. But let me know what it's like for everyone else. Chris Harmon, they are making the game too hard. Yeah, maybe. Maybe need to sort of scale it back a bit. I mean, Prime League hard mode. Here's my take though. Prime League hard mode. We choose to go in Prime League and choose to go in hard mode. Cybertron players don't, so it needs to balance for Cybertron very well. That's my worry. If Cybertron players are struggling, then that's the game should be balanced around Cybertron, because we choose to go hard mode. Let's be honest, we don't have to, but the game needs to be balanced around Cybertron and then cascaded down, because Cybertron has always been that's what the game was intended. And then down below that, they can change them values. Say it's like a 10% debuff, whatever it is, for the next one down. They can make that 15. They can change the cadence. And if Prime League hard mode, they can make that easier or harder. So Cybertron is where you need to sort of worry about the game and what state it's in and what people can and can't do. But sadly, most of the testers are Prime League hard mode testers. So they will sort of test around that. But hopefully the apes have sort of considered the HP of buildings when they consider that. But yeah. GGHI1 said, I'm guessing I'm a bit late. Yeah, a bit late, but we've still got plenty of time to go. MIA Philly. Stream, you know what? Stream is smooth and Punch is king. You know what? I'm not going to lie. I was leveling the 5 stars today. I'm going to take a look at them shortly. And I thought, I'm going to level Punch, you know, and give him a go. I just ran out of time today. I'm still meaning to do it. I promise you one day I will give him a go on the test server and cover him if he is any good. I really do. Penlankas, I never thought I would hear Chris Harmon say it's too hard. Yeah, honestly, yeah. Yeah, it is crazy. Tony B, people still 300 in war, so it's still working. Yeah, but is acid so essential now? That's sort of the standpoint. And I did it in my war. We played face against 1 yesterday. Base 4. Tried something, didn't work. Tried Slingshot, I thought it's a cheap option for build bots, and tried Slingshot, didn't work. Took skids, won. And listen, I'm not saying for 1 minute, we talk about this in our unpopular opinions, I'm not saying for 1 minute that skids is going to give you a 300. I'm not saying that, but it does make it easier, a lot easier. Yeah, Pinlanka says, but yeah, this is what the whales wanted and the 8 slammed them. Yeah, listen, I'm fine. Listen, I think right now, HQ18 Phase 1 is where it should be and where it needs to be and where, you know, I think it's about right. I'm scoring between 250 to 300 in most wars, and I like that I'm dropping points. And I think people should drop points if they get it a bit wrong. And I'm fine with that. The problem lies when people are scoring 30 in wars and 50 in top wars. And, you know, if people are scoring 30 or 50 in top wars, then it's a bit too low, if we're honest, in terms of score. So, you know, there is that. We've got Mirage Jake here, just sort of like hiding in the background, getting a drink, I think. You can come say hello, you know, if you want to. Okay. It's fine. A rare appearance of Mirage Jake.
Hi.
So as you can see, he's not a kid anymore, sadly. He's had his 11th birthday the other day, actually.
Yeah.
And what did you get for your birthday?
Some new shoes.
We're traders, yeah?
Yeah, and a PS5.
Yep, PS5. So, obviously, we all know how much he likes his PlayStation. So, yeah, he was pretty pleased with his PS5. Still not streaming anymore, though. But don't take after his dad as much. But never know in years to come. Yeah, Jason Rowley, a pre-teen now. Yep, definitely. He's definitely sort of that pre-teen. You don't get many words out of him anymore. He's not as gibberish as he was when he first started. And that's why my daughter opens more for crystals now, because you get a few words out of her.
True.
See me. What else are we talking about? We're talking about new defenses. Oh, the new prime cores. So we'll have a look at all the prime cores and see which ones are any good and which ones aren't. I can find the. See, I've had a bit of a jigger on my base since got the new prime cores, and now I can't find anything anymore. Where is it? Oh, it's right behind there. Of course it is. So, prime cores. So, obviously, we know Micronus. Thanks for joining us, Jake.
Bye.
He said bye. We've got, obviously, Micronus. Absolutely incredible prime core. One of the best. Megatronus. Absolutely unbelievable. Don't let it be hacked. So, if it can be hacked by Perceptor, I'd take it off, if I'm honest, in the meantime, while it is fixed. So, we'll see. The Age Maximo, probably the most important core to take out. Can literally just demolish a whole team. So, very, very good core. Again, put it on somewhere high HP. So, put it on a cannon, put it on a shock tower, something like that. Same for all these, really. If you don't want them taken out, whatever you prioritize is really, really important. Put it on an auto cannon for now, or put it on a shock tower once they're upgraded. Put on something really high HP to make it really hard to be taken out, and put some sort of healing next to it, whether it's Alchemist, whether it's Micronus or a healing build bot, because then people will one-shot it, and sometimes if it gets caught at the exact point it's getting healed, it can actually come back to full health again if they're not quick taking it out, costing them points. Because they're not effective with the points, they end up dying and losing, and that's what's happening basically. And that's why I said acid is so important, because you can acid the area and then guarantee it, and you can sort of plan more around that. So yeah, Amalgamous is all right. I don't think the area is quite good enough yet. Increase your outpost bots moving attack speed by 20% at max, and 20% their health every 5 seconds. Good if you're in a time trap, because it recovers their health every 5 seconds, 20% of it. Which when you put like a pipes in there, 20% of his health is like 10k every 5 seconds. So absolutely crazy that it recovers that. And if you put like a rejuve core on him or something like that, it's just recovering health constantly. So yeah, really, really good core for time traps. And so good for choke points. If you can guarantee where they're going to be battling, then it's quite good for choke points. If you know someone sacks your base and you know this is where they're going to battle, then put that around there and hope they don't take it out, because yeah, it just gives another priority for people as well to take it out. So but yeah, not a priority, and hence why mine's on a missile launcher. Then we've got Alchemist. So again, Alchemist, I'd put it on something that has good range, because you need it to do damage so that it can recover, and any structures in the area of Alchemist, which it needs clearing up. There's no visual aid to tell you where the sort of air effect is, which does need addressing, which Fabian said today in the stream that he would have a look at it. But yeah, 26% of their damage done. So basically, if they're not doing any damage, they won't heal. So you can take it out as you would do normally. So try and put it in an area where those defenses will do damage. And then my favourite of the second batch of Prime Cores, Vector Prime. I actually have done a short, this pretty of a funny short, which I'm going to post shortly after the stream. Just a bit of fun, really. And those that remember the old days of consoling will, you know, understand the reference. But yeah, it's pretty good. But a very, very, very good core. Very, very good. Stick it on an MDS. Something you want us to take out more than once, they've got to take it out twice, basically. And you know the amount of cost it takes to take out an MDS. Just remember that you're losing that self-repair healing if you do that. And so take that in consideration, guys, that you're going to lose that. So best put it next to a Micronus, next to a healing build bot. And sometimes, so SG Jetfire can generally take this out unless it heals. I would also advise you put in the healing Titan perk on your Titan, and then your defenses will heal as well. So keep that in mind as well. And then we've got Quintus. So Quintus is quite underwhelming right now. So each time a nearby building or outpost is destroyed, create a Sharkticon. Now we're finding that this core is creating like 5 Sharkticons a whole battle, with 20% of the building's health. And with the building is like 10k, it's like you're getting 5 shotguns at 2k health. And it's not that good, if I'm honest. But we have addressed it in playtest, and they have said that they are going to improve it. So that will change shortly. Solus, same as... I didn't even test this, I'm not going to lie. I didn't even try it. It's probably the worst of the current bunch. And needs an improvement. It should do what a beam laser does, basically, if I'm honest. So every 15 seconds, you create a turret that has 15% of your health and damage. 15% at level 1, but it goes about 30-40%, but still, that's 30-40% in a beam laser. It's like having a HQ18 defense. It's not that good. I'd like to see it like it was 100%. Personally, I'd like to see it go through the roof. But we will have to wait and see what happens to that. Then we've got primer. So same again, you can't really see the area effect. That's what I found in this. I put it down there, I was like, is it working? Are they doing extra damage? It's very hard to tell without really testing the numbers. And I'll be honest with you, the amount of testing that we've done over the next 2 weeks has been a bit stupid, the amount of things we have to test. But it's also been stupid that we've not had a lot of feedback from the aides. I'm going to talk about that shortly as well. But yeah, I'm not too sure. If it works as intended, it sounds OP and crazy good. But the big question is, like, is it working as it should? But yeah, I put on a turret on test and it seemed to work, I think. But yeah. And then obviously the last 2 that I've left to come, I think that is just 2 left. I think 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I think it's 2 more left to come, and that is Onyx and Alpha Trion. Now Alpha Trion hasn't been in test yet. I think the apes haven't got an idea what to do with it, if I'm honest, because they know that it's gonna reduce the amount of points people use. And what do you do for that? I don't know. I've got a few ideas what to do with it, but you know, we'll have to wait and see what happens with this phase of HQ. If I'm honest, I've got a few ideas which I'll talk about another time. Onyx. So some people in the test are saying like, oh yeah, it's easy. It's not that bad at all. And so I did some calculations. Now, if you hit it with Jetfire, say, and you leave 30% health. I'm not saying that's the exact figure, but say you leave 30% health. Once a cannon, I think it was, gets to 30% health, it needs 20k damage. It needs 20k damage to take that cannon out, because it drops it to 40% protection. Does 40% more damage and 40% less damage, I think it is. Whatever it is. So it cuts it by a third, pretty much, any damage. So 30k damage to take out Onyx is pretty stupid, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, I think 18 seconds or 20 seconds, whatever it is, at max for Vector, that's a bit stupid as well. I think that probably needs reducing a bit. It is quite crazy, but it is what it is for now. But that's the reason that Onyx got pushed back, because it just was almost invincible. Once if you don't finish it off first time and kill it, then you almost had to damage it, make sure it didn't go below 50, say, and then finish it off in one go. And what I mean one go, I don't mean like 6 gun that might hit it twice. No, one shot. I don't mean SG Jetfire that flies around and hits it a few times. No, I mean one shot. I mean bang, gone. They can't be like bang, 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 like putting later Optimus on it or putting Sentius on it. It needed to go in one, because as soon as it gets to below 40, it's almost invincible. Like 40% less damage to anything, and does 40% extra damage. And the 40% extra damage wasn't too OP. It was the 40% less damage taken to it. It's just almost impossible to take it out. It's not right taking 20k damage. Imagine putting 6 gun and SG Jetfire on one defense and it's still standing. It's a bit stupid. So they've pushed that back and they're going to balance it, I think. And it might come soon. It might come as part of phase 3. But yeah, that's sort of take on the Defense Prime Corps. And again, as always, let me know in the chat, in the comments, what's your favourite Prime Corps? Which one are you chasing? Which one have you not got yet that you want? And are you looking forward to Onyx? And any ideas for Alpha Trion? Let me know. Pentelancaster, what about Prime? Well, yeah, that was the conspiracy, wasn't it? The Prime was the 12th Prime, so I don't know if that'll ever happen, though, but yeah. Matt Paula, though, I mentioned the shoes first. Jake, what do you get for birthday? Trainers. It's very much a, you know, you alright, Jake? Yeah. Do you want a tea? Whatever. One of them. GGHI1 says coming a member tomorrow. That's good to hear, bud. Good, thanks. Let me know and I will add you to the chat.
I got better things to do tonight than die.
Oh, thank you, DJ Elf7 for the super chat. Just 100 more super chats, your next 5-star. I appreciate your content. Thank you, bud. Honestly, I thank a lot. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. I really do. Wozza, show us your new war team, please. Can do. I don't really. My war team's like, it needs updating. I was talking to Tex and a buddy of mine, Prowl, and a couple of other people about war teams, and I think I'm dropping Bumblebee. It sort of like puts a lump in my throat just saying that, but I think I'm going to have to drop Bumblebee. And sort of interchange it between sort of Twin Twist and between Rhinox, Laser Optimus and Seaspray and other bots, and maybe even Hotspot if he can survive enough. He's been doing well, but probably need to rank him up. Got his G1, so put a decent combat on him, I think, to keep him alive. Maybe shield run or something. But yeah, maybe use him. I know people are saying use Pipes and use Ironhide, so I could maybe use Hotspot, maybe. I have to wait and see. He's not got quite the same HP as Pipes and Ironhide. I'll have to compare it rather than me chasing a new bot. But still 34k health, which is considerable when you consider that, you know, Rook's only got 40k at 66. So, but yeah, think about replacing Bumblebee. Think about replacing SG Jetfire as well. I might even replace 5-star Bumblebee with 4-star Skids, and that says it all, that I've got this 4-star to 65-10. And people got to say like, oh, take to 11, was I? No, well, the plan is. So right now, there's discussion in test on making it so that Skids' acid lasts for 10 seconds, but his ability damage lasts for 5. And it's going to be a bit confusing. I understand that a bit. People will be like, I don't get it, how damage only lasts 5 seconds. But when this sort of Ability 11 was created, the acid heal wasn't a thing, it was just a combo. So he said, listen, if it burns faster, then it does more damage faster. Sort of take things out faster. So the acid healing thing wasn't a thing. So now it's been reduced to 5 seconds for ability 11. Doesn't help the acid, actually hinders it, the actual reduction of healing. But does still do better in terms of damage. It depends what you want it for. But you should be able to use it for both, I get that. But what I've done for now is I've kept my 4-star level 10. Now when the new batch comes out, I'm going to take that one to 11 and I'll have both. I'll have the 4-star for the acid and I'll have the 5-star for the damage. And I can sort of pick and choose whatever I might need. So yeah, that's my sort of take on things. But yeah, I think I might put Skids in there or someone else. I don't know yet, I'm not quite decided. Vicky Lau finally become a VIP in Transformers Earth Wars. Also looking forward to 5-star Star Saber. Well, I don't know. He's not looking good as it is. We'll look at him in a shortly while, anyway. Just only 3 more. Oh, you mean 3 more Prime Cores? Yeah, I might wait until they're on its core though. I don't know. Kind of burger. It's kind of cool that the good building cores are different than the good bot versions. Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Well, Alpha Trion's still very good, and that'd be OP. But yeah. Last time, I can't say I'm too excited about that one because back inside the Vector core. Imagine having to take an MDS out twice. Exactly, it is hard. Bumblebee dies too fast no matter what you do. Yeah, that's the problem. He is dying a lot. And with the anti-stun cores, I'm finding that I'm going to take out the anti-healing cores. I'm going to take out the anti-stun cores. It's causing a lot of point issues. So yeah. My burger's put, is this Wozza's channel? Am I watching the wrong stream? Who's this person talking about replacing B with a Rush Warrior? I know. I hate Rush Warriors. But I feel like I need to put a Rush Warrior in there because everyone that's been successful has got Rush Warriors or Acid in their team. And I've got neither. Struggling a bit. Now when I say struggling, I've got like a 2.65 average, which is not disastrous. But it's not what I had. I had like a 2.97 average on HQ17. So obviously it took a hit. So I need to get back to there again. So yeah. Alright. Take your time, Chris. I'll get there, mate. Penn Lancaster, 5-star skids and rustless destroys an area. I'll send a vid, but I will complain. I use Titan to help win. Yeah, no, what it was, Penny sent me a thing. I did actually complain, actually, just took it the wrong way. I've seen it before, though. So basically, you drop a low level bot, it's going to die instantly, basically, and it activates your Titan. It means you can do the Titan battle, and then you can backdoor and use your Titan to take out a lot more of the defenses. So it's a good tactic, to be fair. It's very clever, but I've seen it quite a bit before. But I think Penny Lancaster took it as like I was sort of criticising using Titan, but no, it's a decent technique, to be fair. It's quite clever. Just got to be careful of time. But yeah, backdoors. I feel like backdoor's going to make a bit of a comeback. If I'm honest, I really do. It makes you want to go for 5-star Springer. It really does. Be interesting. Jason Rowley, Bumblebee with Triceratops shot keeps him alive. It actually doesn't. It really doesn't. Trust me. I mean, my Bumblebee is set up with a 5-star Nightstick 10, an Alchemist, and is the first person to die every time. In Primary Hard mode, it is ridiculous the amount of damage they're doing. Andy Price, but Pipes with his ass is a great Rush Warrior. I know, that's the point. Do I go back for Pipes? That's the big question. That's the big question, isn't it? I mean, looking at the batches, we've got no Rushing Warriors coming in the new batch. So we've got, 3 chips. Got to claim them all there. We've got 30k 5-star shards. So we've got enough for 6 pulls, but I don't want to pull them all. I want to keep some for the next batch. Whatever that might be. But 5-star batch. So we've got a 1 in 3 chance of Ironhide. Slingshot's okay. Blur's okay. Ironhide's good. I'd want Ironhide. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. But I'd want Ironhide. I'm still shocked with myself even saying that. Then we've got Pipes. We've also got Brainstorm and Lynx. I don't want Brainstorm. I won't want Lynx. And again, I can't believe that going back a few years ago, Lynx would have been like drooling over. But just not in its current meta. So they're the 2 bots I'm sort of thinking about going for. So we'll have to wait and see. Perceptor as well. His G1 is crazy good. I didn't realise until talking to Tex, and I'll show you G1 in a minute. That's actually crazy. And Springer. I want Springer. And that's pretty much. Maybe Silverbuff backdoors. Maybe. If backdoor becomes a thing again. But that's pretty much where I'm at on bots that I want right now. So it's like, and you got the current batch. I want Skids, so I've got to pull that. If I pull Skids first go, then we're on. Because I can't see taking more than 2 pulls from each batch, say, to get all the ones I want. If I'm unlucky, it might take a bit more. So I need 2 for Ironhide, say, 2. Come on, getting first time, I might get third. Let's say average. 2 for Pipes, 2 for Ironhide, that's 4 pulls. 2 for Percy, that's 6 pulls. 2 for Springer, that's 8 pulls. Give or take 8 or 9 pulls, and I'll get all the ones that I want. So, but yeah. Interesting. But looking at Perceptor's G1 core, I never realised how good it was. I didn't even know I had it, if I'm honest. Looking at Perceptor, so hacker defense, and obviously that makes it 2 defenses at ability 11. But his G1, defenses hacked by defense hack your hack receive a 32% damage buff, so do 32% more damage at 16. The passive hack duration, so his liage, on outpost bots is increased by 11 seconds. So it's gone from a 5.5 to 16 second liage in build. That is absolutely crazy. It's basically like a liage core on him. So Perceptor could make a bit of a comeback, even if he can or can't hack shot towers. That is ridiculous, the amount of HP, amount of DPS that's going to do. And that liage core on outpost bots. So interesting. I know Calvin's put, he just said Ironhide's good. I never thought I'd see the day. I know Ironhide was my first ever 4-star. My first ever one. First ever 4-star. And he is exactly this. This is all. He's 56.5. He's my first ever bot. First ever 4-star, so not first ever bot. First ever 4-star. Like what? 7 years is at fellow 56. That's just at home. But the amount of buffs they've had recently, Warriors are coming back, guys. They really are. Pen Lancaster, I guess I might find a use for my 5-star pipes at level 60. Yeah. Everyone's saying that. Where's Wozza gone? Last science, but what are your thoughts on Braun and full tilt now you have the 5-star and have gotten to play for a while? I haven't really. Mine's still in the lab. Actually, it's out pretty soon. Next 3 hours at level 50. So I am going to level him over the next few weeks and get him up to 60. And then I think Endurance event will get him up to high. And I might start using a Bumblebee, but it all depends on electric cores. If electric build bots sort of fade away, because we're seeing an increase in the likes of, in Prime League Hard Mode, top level, increase in anti-heal cores and zone heal and a lot of anti-electric. So less FFDs. So I can see the likes of Trax, Hot Rod making a comeback. And then when they do, I think people go back to FFD eventually. And then when they do, I think we'll see more electric. So we'll see more Bumblebee and Brawn coming in. It's just good to have options. We'll talk about this about options today with Tex. And I said in the stream today there won't be any anti-acid cores. I think there will. We did have anti-fire cores. And I think that would be very easy to make that anti-fire and acid. Because back in the day, the argument was that cons did acid, bots did fire. And they sort of changed a few things around. And I think as phase 3 comes around, I'm hoping the build bots will be anti-fire and acid. And because everyone uses skids, people will go towards that. And again, it leaves the door open for something else. And I know everyone sort of like went mental when we brought these build bots out and was like, oh, you're ruining the game. You've got to look at the end game. So yeah, it did sort of ruin Tracks for a while. And it did ruin Blades for a while. And now it's sort of ruining Bumblebee a bit, if I'm honest. And ruining Silverbolt, maybe. It is sort of ruining healers a bit. But we've also always said to take the build bots out. But it is quite difficult for point management. But the idea is you want to sub different bots in. This is why I leveled Hot Rod 6 months ago. This is why, for this reason. And why I'd still use Tracks even to this day. These bots were going to start making a comeback. And I think they will. I do. And it's good to have these options to be able to say, listen, I've always said that, you know, Rook and Blaster are probably mainstays. And Minerva and Ratchet, they're probably mainstays in my team. But outside of that, everything's sort of interchanged a bit. You need someone who's going to do damage. You need someone who's going to protect you. And you need someone that's going to sort of distract the defences or stun them or something. So, yeah, it's a good direction. I like it. And like I'm not unhappy with what's happening. I just know I've got to get some certain bots and chase them bots. And that's, I think, the frustration of some people. That they can't chase them bots and get them. I understand, but that's what a top player's about. Is going getting them bots and being a top player by having options. So at the minute, I don't have any acid options. That's why I'm struggling. But if that acid meta ever shifts, then I'm pretty much set for that. I'm sort of one step ahead, but not ready for the current meta, sadly, just by poor polls. But it is what it is. Vega Prime, much things are changed. I know it's good, though. It is good. Calvin, my issue with skids is they move away from one shot to a totally acid focus for wars. Yeah, it is, but it is a big shift. It's probably been a bit too quick, the shift, but yeah, it happens. Ricky Lyles put, it's depending on how you use Bumblebee. If you use it correctly, are you winning what? Yeah, but well, when you're at the top level and you're getting pounded on, well, then come back and see me. I'm feeling lucky for you, pal. I think you will get all the bots you want in one pull. That's not going to happen. Ricky Lyle's first 4-star was Jazz. He was good back in the day, but he's just expensive now. Chris Harmon. Hey, was it? I think Skillia. I'm going to say Skillia again. Cecilia, whatever. And Ariel are awesome looking. I like to pronounce these ones a bit wrong. It's just a bit of fun, isn't it? Even Quellagon, I can't remember. People corrected me loads, and I was just like, I can't bother thinking about it anymore. But yeah, Quellagon, that's what I call him. Aerial and skill look awful. I think Aerial looks alright. Yeah. Sandstorm, acid and healing, but runs to his death. Let's not forget that. It's a weird one. Mercenary's first 5-star was block. Well, you got a good 5-star there. Yeah, very good. Very highly rated. So, yeah. Okay, let's have a look at the new 5-star batch and testing what we've got right now. And if you watch my stream and my video a while back on the stats, I wasn't too far off. I'm quite impressed on how close I was. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to look at this and go like, whoa, this is way off what was said. It's actually quite close, but we'll take a look anyway. Okay. Okay, so we know that 2 in the batch is Skids. Skids doesn't need any change. He's okay as he is right now. Maybe a bit, I don't know. He's not cheap, but just a lot of damage for what it is, and you know, a bit of. So here's the big debate. So how many uses would you say is spammy? 2, 3, 4, 5? At what point does a bot become spammy to the point where you're using it too much? Put it in the comments, let me know. But yeah, that's my only thing with Skids, maybe, that is used, overutilized too many times, maybe. But it's a very good bot, and I can't see him being used, thinking too much. Top spin, I don't think we're going to get many changes at all, if anything, to him. I would still say that he should combo with more bots. I still say. Rather than just Skylinks, but I don't think that's going to happen, and we'll talk about that why soon. So those 2 bots are out of the endurance event, and I don't think they're going to change much. And then next up is Star Saber. So Star Saber has been the massive talking point in test. There's been 2 bots, and we'll talk about it in a minute. But Star Saber's the big one, and we're all a bit of a loss what to do and what he needs. And it's all well and good saying a cost reduction, and maybe he does, but does that make him another sack bot? Because his range is just crazy. I'll just show you his range to give you an idea. Let's put Star Saber in. So for those, I haven't used Star Saber in quite a while. So let's just put him right at the back there. And you can see that he's not far off reaching the top. And I know he's expensive, but if you reduce his cost, you start going 1. You start going 2. And you can see there that he's currently on 13 ability points. So you start reducing that cost, and he starts taking this top section out, and you start sort of backdooring. You know, we've not even done our Titan yet. I mean, listen, I've not even planned this. You can see I've just picked this out, and then we sort of go a bit on the other side like that. When my Titan's not stunned. 18 ability points. You see where I'm going with this. Let's put a boost down as well. Then we drop Combiner down here, a few bots, and we sort of take Computron out, and then we just backdoor it, basically. It just gets a bit too easy to backdoor. And that's my worry with Star Saber, if it's too cheap. And if it gets even cheaper, then you sort of do multiple swipes. And looking at his sort of stats maxed out right now, he does 4.5k, and people are sort of saying that's incredibly low, his damage, incredibly low. But you got to think, from 3 uses, yeah, that is expensive for 3 uses. But if you can reach top of the base, especially these front-loaded bases, if you can reach the top area, you're getting a lot of ability points back. And you're getting, what, 4, 8, 12, you're doing 13k damage. Now, remember earlier we were speaking about defenses, and that pretty much kills everything apart from shock towers. That's the only thing that will withstand it, really. So, and anything that's covered by the shield gen. So, you know, we've got to be careful around because of his range. And people said, like, you know, the cost is stupid. But you've got to think, he has got the biggest range in the game. That's why his cost is so high. The 6 seconds doesn't equate into current meta. It needs to be longer. So I think that'd be 10 probably. I think. But there's a lot of questions on, and I've suggested a couple of things like acid. Do we change to acid? People might get a bit annoyed though because they like the fact that it's disabled. So do we change to ice? Ice sort of really slows it down to like 95%. But ice works on the MDS. So do we change it to ice? Do we then, don't forget, he hasn't got his own core. He hasn't got ability 11 yet. Do we give him some sort of shield as ability 11? But will that make him a sack bot? We always go back to this. But then he is caught by the MSMs. So there is a counter for him. So there's arguments here, there, and everywhere. And people saying that he needs more damage. People saying he needs a cost reduction. Does he need acid? Does he need ice? All these suggestions, but definitely needs a massive overhaul. He needs something big. Because as he is right now, it's the big lump. Let's be honest. And he'll be the least desirable at this batch, I think. And that's crazy if you think about it. Considering 3 years ago, this was the most desirable bot in the game. This was stupidly good. Everyone chased this guy. And my star sim, my 4-star, is still... What? I mean, this is test bot. I'm pretty sure it's the same as my... Well, on live, I think it's 66. My star saver to give you an idea. So, crazy, crazy good. But yeah, I think Star Saber will get the biggest change. And again, this is only the start of tests, but I'm just saying sort of what we're suggesting them, the ideas that are sort of flying around. But again, put your ideas in the chat. What would you like to see from Star Saber? If you had a cost reduction, what would you reduce it to? Considering, you know, I mean, Goldfire's... One said that, yeah, but Goldfire's rubbish. It needs 5+2, but it don't have the range. Everyone said Goldfire's range is crazy. It's nowhere near Star Saber's, so consider that. And the other two, we're going to look at some cons for a change. I don't use cons a lot, so we're going to look at some cons. Crankcase. So Crankcase stats, its health and damage must have gone up, but the attack speed hasn't. The 5-star still has 100% faster. So, and the health, if you look at the max health there is 507, but if we look at a maxed out hoist 4-star, it does 440 health every second. So it's 4,400 over 10 seconds. And you compare that to Crankcase, that's 5,070. So it's 670 healing extra for 5-star. It's not really desirable. You know, that healing needs a bump. Maybe the speed, the speed up needs or maybe it's more seconds for the 5-star. But yeah, the 5-star definitely needs some sort of little increase. So it does need a slight change. That's something that the playtester sort of asked for. Then we've got Slipstream. This has been a bit of a talking point, and this is where everyone's sort of on the fence. Because Slipstream Air Raid, they'll do 9,272 damage with an EO core. I said around 9,300, so I was pretty much spot on. It does take 20 seconds, it does stun the targets, that's pretty good, and it's just 20 seconds to take it out, so it's a good length of time. But it's this figure, it's 9272, and we've talked about HP of defences going up to, I don't want to go into it again, but into like above 10k. So everything's pretty much above 10k, and 10k seems to be like the sweet spot, 10.5k for most defenses. So if this spot is only doing 9.5k, 9,300 whatever, then you need a trigger. You need someone to trigger it. Now you can't use Jetfire anymore. So you're talking SG Jetfire. And so what you've got to do is you've got to add the cost in. So when you add the cost of SG Jetfire or Thundercracker, it's 5 plus 3. So it's for 8 ability points. You're getting 9,200 damage. So 9,200 for 8. But then if you compare that to Skids for 8, you're getting 12,600. So compare that. And people said that, you know, but then yeah, but there's cheaper bots to take it out with. You could maybe use Jetfire, which is only 4, so it's less costly. But then the problem you've got is that he can't one-shot Jetfire. So then you've got to know you use one bot to weaken it. You've got to use Jetfire to take it out. And then you've got to use Slipstream. And yes, you can use Build Bots. Don't get me wrong. Build Bots, very easy to take out. You can use 3 ability points to take a Build Bot out. You can use Hound to take out a Structure. And you could say that that's pretty good that you could sort of use them things. But not many people will put a Build Bot next to a Structure that can be taken out for 9,000 HP. If we're honest. You know, put a build bot next to an MDS to heal it. You take that build bot out, put a slipstream on it, take that build bot out. It's doing 9,000 damage to an MDS that is going to heal itself again in a matter of seconds. So for that healing structure, it's not going to do much. You could use slingshots to take the build bot out. That's fine. Acid in an area, it's a possibility. But then, you know, for 9,200 damage, you want to combo it. So you want to take multiple things out. And then you've got to get maybe a build bot next to a resource building and use Hound and use Slingshot. It just gets a bit silly for the damage that you're getting. I would rather see that around 10.5k, if I'm honest. And I don't want to kill the MDS. I don't want to kill anything stupid. I just want to be able to kill some defenses. And that's like turrets, beams, launchers. I'm not bothered if I can't shoot mortars and cannons. I'm fine with that. You know, you can't have everything. But you should be able to take something out. You should be able to look at a structure and go, oh, I can take that out. And I just don't think we're quite there yet. But, again, it all depends on the Prime League hard mode effects. If they are going to reduce them down, then it is good. But, again, you've got to consider Cyber. So, at 9,200 damage, it does take most things out. You know, that's at 8760. The cannon's at 9480, so you can almost take cannon out. So, you know, it probably is thereabouts in Cyber. It's very hard to judge between Cyber and between hard mode. But it doesn't have his G1 core. So I get that a G1 core might do more than the EO. But it's not going to be 10.5k, is it? I don't think 10.5k is overkill for Cybertron, even for a maxed out 5-star. If you're in Cybertron and you've got a maxed out 5-star, then you're probably in the wrong place. You're probably in Prime League or pushing for Prime League. So that's the talking point of Slipstream and Area as well. But what do you think? Is 9,200 enough? Do you make it really situational? And then the other argument, you know, let me know in the chat what you think. But the other argument is when you compare that to the likes of Brainstorm, you know, who only does 16.5 seconds, but is in an area, but does only, you know, I mean, the EO core is a bit more, to fair. Let me just change it over. But it's still nowhere near. Who only does 7,200 damage. But it reduces the speed by 95%. But it is double the cost. So these are all the arguments that are flying around in playtests right now. We're still balancing it either way. You know, Brainstorm is probably too expensive. Is Area too cheap? Maybe not at 9.2, at 10.3. Would you have more damage for a higher cost? Is that an option? Does that ruin it for everyone else that uses the bot at a lower level? Is it overpowered for Cybertron if he gets an increase? These are all the things you got to consider in playtesting. There's no right or wrong answer, but you know what you got to consider anyway. I'm gonna sneeze. Maybe not. Maybe I am. No, I'm not. Let's have a look. So we talked about spamming skids. So 4, 4, 3. Yeah, I think 3. I think if you use this bot 3 times, it's a bit too much, personally. MD Prime, I use Smoker 6, 7, 8 times. Yeah, I suppose. But then you're doing it twice to take out one Billbot, let's be honest. Which has got 6k HP. So it's not like you're doing stupid damage, you're doing not a lot to one target. Penny Lancaster, well, I use skids 3 to 5 times. That's the point I'm making. You know, it is getting a bit too much. Swoop is my favourite bots. When he is out, I use ability 4 to 5 times for Swoop. How? Not at this level, you're not, because he's so expensive on repeat use. Swoop's what, 5 plus 5? His repeat use is stupid. It really is. One of the most expensive repeat uses in the game. Where is Swoop? Let's just go airbots now there. I got 5-star there. Yeah, 5 plus 5 is crazy. It's a lot of damage, don't get me wrong, it is like 20k, but these bots that do 20k that are 5 plus 5. 5, 10, but after that, I ain't using him. Not a chance. Chris Harmon, no, was it? He dies too fast. I better get 2 uses. Yeah, but if he's a, you know, there are ways to keep him more alive, and if he is going to use as a sack bot, then he needs 2 uses, let's be honest. Has anyone suggested lowering the range and cost? Oh, I won't do that. I won't reduce his range. He has that huge shield, but he's weak on health. Make him have more health or reflect 100 damage every 7 seconds. Who you talk about? Star Saber? Star Saber doesn't have a shield though. That's the difference. You talk about Star Saber. Star Saber needs ice or acid to either go with ability 11 or a G1 core. Yeah, maybe. But do you want to change something for that? Is it just like ice where he lands? Maybe, I don't know. Chris Hammond, yeah, doesn't do damage. Yeah, I know doesn't damage on his own. Yeah. I know it's hard, Chris. You're not wrong. You're not. But it's just a little voice in the back of my head saying, like, you know, it can be used to a certain way and it can be dangerous with backdoors and stuff. Jason Roller, simple, pair him with Springer. Yeah, to a backdoor like that, yeah. Star Saber S11 could add fire over time and ice to freeze. Yeah, but you don't want to have fire and EMP. It doesn't make sense, really, does it? I think if you're going to add anything, it's ice, I think. Chris Hammond, I'll reduce it to just 12 points. 12 plus 0. That's interesting, isn't it? I thought about that. That's an interesting point. SG Jetfire and Slipstream equals Jazz. Yeah, Mike Berger, and Jazz is considered very massively expensive as well. So think about that. Or MD Prime Spot sweeping Zone 14. Oh yeah, Zone 14. You can one shot everything and take it all out. So yeah. The range on the building prime core are insane. Will they think about increasing the range on the bot prime core as a balance? I don't think they will, Calvin. I don't think they will. We'll have to see how it balances out in Cybertron and go from there. We might have to. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go in Cybertron. That's the big one. Yeah. Miss Lexis put with the shock tower, that little part next to the new HQ18 that comes out the shock tower when it lets off its shock. You can see it when you attack. I've not seen that. Has anyone else seen that? Let's test it. Let's get a full team out if we can. I ain't got a full team anywhere. I can't. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. Yep, got a full team there. Yep, let's go normal mode. I never have ever seen this pop up. Could be wrong though. I never paid that much attention, if I'm honest. Oh, and I put it nearly age like an idiot. This could go terrible. Yeah, it's going terrible. Look. Where's that bit that comes out though? I can't see anything coming out. And that's why you don't mess with the age, kids. No, I didn't see anything come out there. Ian Knows, thanks for the blur nerf, ridiculous. Well, we'll wait and see. And I love how people sort of blame me for this blur nerf, like it's solely my fault. And I've said this in playtest, that if you think for 1 minute that I say, I want this to happen, and it happens, I will remind you about Power Glide. How I wanted him to change. I will talk about how I wanted a cost reduction and I wanted an increase in damage for Double Dealer and didn't get it. I wanted a buff to Broadside and didn't get it. I wanted a buff to Streetwise and didn't get it. I said Hound Vamp needs a buff and didn't get it. I said Snapdragon needs a HP increase and didn't get it. I said Slingshot needed more of a percentage for its acid and didn't get it. I said that Skylinks needed slowing down more and didn't get it. I said that SG Jetfire needs a cost decrease and didn't get it. I also said let's have a look. I said Star Saber needs ice, don't think I'm gonna get that. I said Hotspot needs a shield, didn't get that. I said Strafe needs more range, didn't get that as well. I said Slash needs a range increase, didn't get that. What else? I said Hound needs an increase, didn't get that. I said Roadbuster should do more damage without his G1, didn't get that. I said Brainstorm should get a cost reduction, didn't get that. You get where I'm going, guys. Because I suggest something does not mean it happens. I suggest a lot of things. And yeah, some of them do come true. Like anything. But I do suggest a lot of things. But when you're suggesting 10, 15, 20 things over the course of a few months, then yeah, you are going to get some of them right. And the apes are going to go and go, yeah, I agree with that. But again, it's the rest of the community and the rest of playtest as well. If I'm in playtest saying I think this should happen, and everyone else is saying no, it isn't going to happen, sadly. It isn't. And people say that, and I'm sure, listen, there's people in the chat now that will back me up on this. That I've never asked anyone to follow me in playtests and say, listen, get on board with this and back me up. I've never said that. And people have different people in the chat right now that are actually members of my channel, and I've disagreed with me in playtest and messaged me saying, listen, I hope you don't being funny. I've gone, no, not at all. It's fine. That's what you're there for. You're there to give your opinion on things. And I'm not saying my opinion is right. It's my opinion and I stand by it. I'm not going to say that I disagree with it, but that is my opinion. You know, like it or not, you don't need to like it. You don't need to agree with it. That's fine as well. You know, there's people in the chat, like I said right now, that have disagreed with me in playtest. We've had, I won't say an argument as such, but we've had a discussion back and forth where it's not got heated even, but, you know, we've disagreed. And I don't hold anything against them because of it. You know, it's their opinion and they're entitled to it, and we'll talk it out, and hopefully they can try and convince me. You know, there's plenty of people, like I said, Rushing Warriors. I've been dead against Rushing Warriors for years, and people convince me to go and pull pipes. You know, and I've stood firm, going, nope, I'm not going to do it. And now I'm like, I think I need to. You know, and, you know, opinions do change, and I've always said, I didn't want to kill Sack. I wanted to make it more difficult, and it was too easy. I don't care what anyone says about that. It was too easy to use Blur, and I hope it has made it harder. Not impossible. I hope it's made it harder. But then I also hope that people are also going to use the new glass gas mines and make walks harder as well to balance it out. You know, we're going to do one attack. We might as well do both. So, you know, fair point. Yeah. Wozza tells us that was lobbying a playtest against Sack. I wasn't, honestly. Yeah, listen, I did say that. I did say it in test, but I haven't lobbied for it in test at all. But yeah. There we go. Listen, I'm fine if people have an opinion. I'm fine. When you start gonna flood the chat accusing people of things that they don't need to, but then, you know, come on, guys. Don't forget Nose Cone 2. Yeah, Nose Cone 2. Yeah, there's been plenty of things. Plenty of things I've asked for. What are your thoughts on Braun? Yeah, I did say about Braun and Full Tilt. I'll let you know more when I test them more. But yeah. What happened to campaigning for 5-star Hound? And when it happened, you didn't seem too impressed. No, I wanted 5-star Hound, but I wanted improvements to be made. I wanted him to, like, so again, so I wanted more damage to buildings. It's just like resource buildings, but I wanted more damage to buildings, slightly more. We said that the Titan tech tree needed to not affect him, which I think they fixed, so it doesn't do that, but didn't quite do enough damage. I wanted his G1 change as well. I don't like that hologram. I don't like the hologram at all. It's pretty awful. I've never met anyone that likes that hologram of Hound. If it needs to be there, it needs to be buffed, because it just pops an outpost and you don't want it to. It's too random. So I wanted these changes. I thought we could push them through. And most of the playtesters, well, most agreed, and it just didn't happen. So it's one of them things, isn't it? But yeah. Yeah, last time spot. I don't think you can blame one player. There's many things that I've asked for never happened. They're going to do what they want to do regardless. Yeah, exactly. Listen, I can campaign for, I want Star Saber to be 4+2. It don't mean it's going to happen because I campaign for it. I sort of look at things in the game, and just a bit of advice, guys, that when anything becomes overpowered in the game, there's going to be an adjustment. Whether it's a counter, whether it's a balance change. In other games, they do this. In other games, they just balance change. I said this to Dale. I think the only reason we can't do balance changes is because we never have, and people aren't used to it. Go and play Clash Royale, guys. They balance change every few months and go, right, this is getting increased, that's getting decreased, that's getting changed a bit, that's getting a decrease in cost, that's getting an increase in cost, this. And they change whatever's OP. Because if it gets to the point where people are using something and it can't be defended, they go, right, okay, we can't have that when it's balanced. It's all about balance. And that's why I said I think we'll see anti-acid cores. Because at the minute, Skids is probably the best bot in the game. Sea Spray was the best bot in the game, and we got anti-EMP cores. We were doing airstrikes against the HQ, And then we got HQ cores, and they increased the damage resistance against abilities. We had Inferno Stomp with a Elita, and they stopped it from stacking. People were backdooring. They brought out HQ cores and brought out that stun core, especially to stop backdoors. That HQ stun core was especially for Cup Springer backdoors. So they've done all these sort of things to stop sort of gimmicky attacks. Or not, that's the wrong word. I apologise for that. Not a gimmick attack, but an attack where it's not how the game was designed. The game was designed to walk through the base. That is how the game was designed, sadly, and that's not my opinion. That's just how it goes, you know. And you know that's just how it goes. Sadly, that's not my choice. The apes have always favoured walks. If you go back about 3 years of my channel, I hated walking. I hate it. I used to do the likes of backdoors. I used to do cleanup crew. I used to do all these sort of gimmick attacks whenever I could, and I got bored because they kept getting countered. Because they do. Because the apes don't want you to do these attacks. And I've sort of learnt from the past that they don't want to do these things. So as soon as I saw someone using blur and not be able to defend against it, I was like, that is going to get fixed. So what's going to happen? Either one or two things. Either we're going to get a counter, or we're going to get a nerf. I don't like nerfs. If you've invested in a bot to get Zen for events and for wars, I don't like that. I don't like a nerf. I'd rather have a counter, because a counter means that in some instances it will work exactly the same. In other instances, not. So you're kind of losing half the bot in a way. You're not losing its full utility. It just means that it can't be used all the time. Where a nerf will affect it in everything. In Zen farming, in leveling, in wars, for every single battle you ever do. So personally, if it's a choice between a counter and a choice between a nerf, I will choose counter 1,000,000% of the time. And that's just, again, kind of looking out for you guys and myself. I don't use blur, but I don't want that. And people think it's just me just fighting for that. It's that if I'm going to see a counter, which I can see coming, I'd rather have that. So for skids, I'd rather not see a skids nerf, if I'm honest. I think it might. I don't think it'll come, actually. I think we'll see a counter. I'd rather see a counter. So if you said to me, what would you rather see? Would you rather see a skids nerf, or would you rather see an anti-acid, anti-fire core? I'd rather see an anti-acid core rather than nerf him. That's what I'll fight for, because I don't want to see a nerf. You know, I've never fought for a nerf of any bot. I've fought for counters for that bot, and that's the way I'll always look at it. But yeah. Let's have a look. Calvin, 5-star nose counter's coming out, if only. Yeah, Esca Hostis, but yeah, all the positive. Yeah, well, some people look at positive, some don't. So, yeah. Yeah, they'll never get a buff to nose cone. Dale reckons he will, but yeah. Matt Paul, I like Hound's hologram. Are you mad? Tony B, I just want Star 7 not to be awful. Same, bud. Same. Yeah, Mike Berg, yeah. I was a playtester for a year. Trust me, the apes aren't going to do anything they don't want to, or if their numbers don't line up. One playtest opinion won't change that. Trust me. Not even Wozza's. Trust me on that. Trust me. Like, people in playtest are in there right now, and we'll talk about it in a minute. That's the last thing we'll talk about, but trust me, it doesn't happen. Yeah, I get it might be fun. I understand that. It's harder at lower levels, but this is an argument as well we said about, you know, should the game be more fun than strategic? Because maybe we are Transformers fans first, and then gamers second on this game, because if it was another game, we wouldn't play it as much. Let's be honest, because it's Transformers, but then if it was a Transformers game, but it was awful, would we still play it even as well? Look at Force of Fight. No offence if you did play it, but it was very repetitive and didn't really last much longer, didn't get quite as much support, wasn't as good a game, and it sort of died. So, you know, yeah, look at it both ways. Yeah, like Chris Harmon's put, listen, we disagreed quite recently in playtest, and he's still a member, still talk to the guy, do you know what I mean, like that, we have a laugh in here and things like that, and yeah, I'm not bothered in the slightest, honestly, like, you disagree with me at all, you know. Yeah. I still want a Snapdragon buff. Mercenary says, yeah, same. We said this, me and Tex. We said there's so many bots that just need a slight change. Nothing stupid, just a HP increase of like a few thousand, or a damage increase, or a bit of a range increase, or a cost decrease. And nothing that's going to nothing that takes so much programming. It's just changing a few numbers. And I would love to go into Space 8 for one day and just say, listen, just trust me for one day to make a few adjustments. I'm not going to bring out any new cores. I'm not going to change any defenses or anything like that. I'm just going to tweak a few things. I would love that, honestly. I'd make so many bots relevant again. It'd be cool. But what do I know? Mercenary, I still need new members, but I quit making content for a bit because I'm stressed with video ideas and all people requesting videos every day. Trust me, it's not as easy to make people make out being a YouTuber. Trust me, getting ideas for videos and creating those ideas and actually making them, it's not easy. Trust me. I'm not sitting here crying, saying like, oh, you know, poor Wozza. But yeah, it's not as easy as people make out being a YouTuber, and that's why you see so many YouTubers start a YouTube channel and just don't finish it off and just fade away, because it's demanding. It is. You've got to really, you know, tackle it head on. You've really got to go at it and make a point of it. It's not easy. Why does everyone keep saying that the blur got nerfed? Because of this flare mine increase. So the flare mine now catches blur better, and it's been increased. So if you look there, oh god. So blur hasn't been nerfed, but he has been countered. Let me just move this out of the way a minute. Oh my god. Do one up there. There we go. There. So that is the flare mine new range. I need to move this back because... Is this test? Oh, it's test. I thought it was my actual account. Oh, it's alright. But yeah. Yeah, I think a Prime seen me in there as well. Yeah. I promise was a fight for balance. I do fight for balance. That's what I do. It is all about balance, yeah. Penny Lancaster heard Grind Tank gives you your ideas. If only. If only. So yeah, we're talking dead quick again. So a couple more things to finish off with. Bit of a long stream because we've been sidetracked with talking and stuff. But it's okay. It's fine. I like these things. I like talking. We're talking today in about this carries on from what we've been talking about. Actually, we're talking about how the apes sort of work for this game and where the game's at. And so last year was an okay year for the game. 2021, 2022 was a really poor year for the game. Numbers went backwards in the game. Because they just weren't creating much good content, let's be honest, and the bots were pretty awful, and content creators started dwindling. And then last year again, numbers started dwindling for content creators and stuff. We lost like the LDJ Hart, Grind Time kind of stopped creating content. Even Hoist and Soldier don't make as much content anymore for the game. There's not many of us left. Obviously, Freeze started, but numbers started dwindling in top alliances as well. And I think that all this stems from is new content not coming out as it should, not coming out balanced, not coming out right. And they don't spend as much time as they should on the game. Because if you're in playtest right now, you'll understand this. That what will generally happen is we'll get something in playtest and we'll get no feedback at all. We'll get no one in that chat and we're just sort of left to battle between ourselves. And that's what it is. We start talking about things and we end up talking for days upon end. And I actually had a bit of a go at Dale. And I like Dale a lot. Don't get me wrong. I do rate Dale and I do like the guy. And it's not directed at him personally. It's not directed at any of them personally. It's directed at the company and the way they run things. Is that he then created a chat and went, right, what do we think about this? And we're like, we've literally given 3 days of feedback back and forth. Have you not read that chart? And like, now you want us to sum it up. I was like, well, we've already done this. We've already gone over this. And it's not just this time either. It was the Prime cores. It was HQ18. It was the latest bots. It was the combats. And we've literally had nothing. And Adam's now left the company. and Fabian's leaving soon as well. And you've got to think that, I mean, Adam came in but left. Before that we had George. So we had George, which was like a bit of a newbie. That was supposed to be, I think he's supposed to come in and maybe taking over from Fabian, maybe. Long term, but they couldn't say that. So George came in and didn't fit the bill for whatever reason, didn't work out. Yeah, Yanis, Fabian, and you had George. Then you had Dale and Daisy. And then you had Hyro. And that was the team. So George, they lost him. They got Adam back. They lost Adam. Now losing Fabian. And they're getting a bit of a newbie in. But this newbie is not going to be as good as Fabian. You know. He's not. And he's definitely not going to be as good as Yanis. And Yanis is working on bigger and better things. So when you're talking, it's right now, Fabian is working on, he's working on the Prime Cores. He was working on HQ18.2, Phase 2, whatever you want to call it. He's working on the new combats. He's working on the new bots. I believe he's kind of helping Yanis on the Alliance HQ as well. And he's just too stretched. He's just got too much to do. And it's not that they don't care. They've just got too many things to do. They're being a bit too optimistic. And it's good to have new content all the time. When that new content is coming out unbalanced and wrong, and when people are giving the feedback saying this needs balancing and that's not happening, people get frustrated because they've invested in a bot and it's rubbish. Look at Roadbuster. People invest in Roadbuster and it's absolutely awful. And we said this in playtest. And that's the hardest thing. When you see something coming out and you say in playtest, this isn't good enough. And then they release it, and then everyone else says, this isn't good enough. And it's kind of, time and time again, you're saying, I told you so. I kind of told you. You know, and that's the main problem at the minute. Is not that they don't care. They do care. I know they care about the game and things like that. They care about the community. It's that they're too stretched. And that's up to whoever's above them. You know, whether it's Max or whoever else. I'm not sure if you know who Max is, but Max is sort of the, you know, one of the main guys at Space Ape, who help with the game and stuff, oversees most of the games. And I've already spoke to Max a few times, but I still feel the need to sort of talk to him again and say, listen, the community's worried, you know, where's the game going? And yeah, so Dale assures us that they're getting more and more resources for the game, but I feel that Dale is stretched even. I feel that Fabian's stretched. And I don't want Yanis really. I don't even see Yanis, so I presume he's stretched as well. So, you know, something needs to give. I don't know what. But they need to find something from somewhere to improve this new content coming out because it's not balanced. You know, we said Quintus is not good enough for the last week. For the last week, we've been talking about Quintus, how it needs changing. And then they released it today and said, oh, we're going to look at it next week. Well, why did you not look at it this week before you released it? Don't release something bad and then go, oh, we'll fix that at a later date. Look at Nose Cone. He never got that fixed. They released it, it wasn't good enough, and he never got fixed. You know, we don't want that with new content. We want new content to be relevant. People are spending money and chasing this content. It should be relevant and working well and be worthwhile. You know, whether that's new bots, new combats, or whatever. So, yeah. You guys get an extra couple of weeks with these new characters and features a week, and then hey, you know what, we do get like 2 weeks though, we do, and we still, they come back with like after a week and go, right, what do you want from this, and we give our feedback, and then half the time they go no. Like, why, you know, why leave us to talk for a week about the changes we like, and then come in and say, well, no, that's not, we're not having that. So, you know, why not put it to sleep in the first day? Say, listen, this is what we see. This is where we see it going. This is what we want. This is not going to happen. If they would have come in the chat and said, listen, we're not changing Star Saber to Acid or Ice, and he's not getting a change in range, and he's not getting ability 11 or G1 anytime soon, we can work with that. We can. But let us know at least. As the horse SA needs to take a break pumping out new bots. Yeah, we do, to be fair. Yeah. Yeah. We get details of a bot days before. I'll be honest, this is why I sort of do this now and reveal things a bit earlier. And I'm not sure if I should or shouldn't. And I'm more in the camp of that people deserve to at least have an idea what it is. You know. And going on to that, let's take a look at the new combat. Now this should be signed off and ready to go. It should be. But sadly it isn't, and I'll tell you why. And it could be misleading in the stream. So you can watch the stream and you can look at a combat, and everyone was saying, oh yeah, Kunai looks really good. I'm really impressed with Kunai. Can't wait to get him. So let's look at his ability right now. So he heals a single target with 17% increase healing per second. So extra 17%. Plus extra 5% for Wheeljack. Let's say 22%. So at max, let's upgrade it to max. Let's not mess about, eh? Where is he gone again? Let's max it out. So heal a target, 20% increased HPS, plus 5%, so 25% for Wheeljack. Every 10 seconds you throw a kunai, healing nearby allies for 2 times the healing per second and increase their damage by 20% for 10 seconds. So let's take it step by step. So heal a single target with 20% increased HPS. So it's one target. So let's have a look at Wheeljack. Let's look at here. I love this actually. This is a lot better. A lot easier. So we can go back and forth there now. So 25% extra healing. So it will do and 5-1 healing. 521 healing to one target. Every 10 seconds you throw a kunai healing nearby allies for 2 times the healing per second. So they will heal for 850 healing. So every 10 seconds, they get an extra 850. Increasing their damage by 20% for 10 seconds. So kind of like a bit of a speed up. Yeah? So you're getting a 20% speed up, which is pretty good. 20% increase in health, which is alright. And then every 10 seconds, throw a kunai, and it's getting 2 times the healing per second, which is extra 800. And you look at that and you think, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But then we compare it to Rung. So heal the, remember this is for a healer. The primary reason for this is to help a healer out, increase a healer. Nothing wrong with having a healer that does multiple things, but it increases healing. So Rung, heal the allies around your target for 42% of your bot's heal value. So that's an extra 200, 180 healing. So that's 600 healing it does in an area. Every 10 seconds you shield your target from 32 damage for 4 seconds. 32% of damage. So reduce the damage by 32%. And when you compare that to an extra 800 healing, it's not kind of that worth it. And when you look at the numbers, put Wheeljack in there a minute. Just going 15. Oh, that's a good one to do. Okay. Says the kunai. Is it? No, that's not. That's stripes. Is it? No, it's kunai, yeah. What is that? Let's just make sure there's nothing else on there a minute. I don't look like kunai. Have a look a minute. There we go. That's more like it. Let's try again, eh? I was about to say that's not a kunai. Who the hell is kunai? Oh, this is going to be a decent base actually as well, so not ideal. Let's go a bit lower. Don't do want to max HQ17 base. I'm just trying to show something. Sorry, guys. Let's go zone 13, just so we can see it. It doesn't matter, does it? As long as it takes a bit of damage. Just want to show you what it does, to give you an idea on why this combat ain't what it's all made out to be. And hopefully we can get some changes to it made before it actually comes into the live server. Oh, here we go. Generic Space 8 base. So we're going to put him down. And ignore the hang a minute. So Wheeljack's healing, you can see here he heals. So there's a kunai. Does 1200, 1000 extra. So it does 760, 760, 760. Is this skin gauge? But 760. Keeps doing 760, then heals for 1400. But you look, it does 760, and then when he throws a kunai, he stops healing anyway. So he does that, and then he stops healing, so you lose 700, but then gain 700. So the combat doesn't increase the healing of any bot. It doesn't. It doesn't. It does the same amount of healing pretty much. Because he does 700, 700, 700 with his beam, stops the beam, throws a kunai, does 1500 say, and then carries on doing 700 healing. But the time that he's stopped to throw the kunai bot is doing the same healing if we didn't have a kunai bot. And that's the bit that I'm a bit like, what the hell is going on? So when you take that consideration, that take the kunai bit out, it's just not working. So it increases the damage by 21%, it speeds him up for 10 seconds, and heal a single target with 20% increased healing per second. An extra 100 healing per second is nothing to one target when you've got Rung that heals an extra 42% in an area around your target. So would you rather have an extra 25% to one target or 42% to everyone? So it does half the healing of Rung in an area. It does half the healing of Rung, plain and simple. Does the same amount of healing with a kunai doesn't. So all you get from this combat is a 10% speed up. It just doesn't work, guys. It's nowhere near good enough. And when we got this, it only worked on Wheeljack, and I was like, I'm not even testing this. I'm not even bothering. I don't agree with a combat that only works on one bot. Now, if it works on that one bot and is absolutely unbelievable immense, I kind of get it. I don't like it, but I kind of get it. But it doesn't. Let's be honest, it doesn't by any means. And I like choice. And if you begin at a combat, what if I don't use Wheeljack? What if I don't have Wheeljack? And this chance event is for a combat that only goes on Wheeljack or on Shockwave, and you don't have them as a lower player. You're not going to bother with this event. Why bother? Why bother with an event for a combat that only fits a bot you haven't got? It's just the whole idea of it, I think, is really, really poor. And I'm not too sure it was an idea from, Fabian, or I'm more inclined to think it was Adam's idea, but not a good idea at all. That it only fits on one bot. Now they did change that, so now it can go on Ratchet and on Minerva and First Aid, but who'd want to? And let's be honest, for extra 5%, it's not special to Wheeljack. 5%, it's minute 5%. If anything, it should be twice what it is now. The kunai should do like 3,000 damage, 3,000 healing to one target, something stupid like that, and it should do double if you put it on Wheeljack. Double. That's the way it should work. But it's nowhere near good enough as it is right now, and I'm hoping they do make some big changes to it, because if I'm honest, it needs it. So we'll see. Again, this is just the initial review of it. It's still to be play tested. Well, it's been play tested, and we've said that it's awful, and all it seems to do is just put on more healers rather than just Wheeljack. So they made some changes, but again, this is a typical example of where we say in playtest we want X, and we give them loads of feedback, and they take a minute part of that feedback and go, okay, we'll just do this, because maybe it's just a simple change or something, you don't have the time to do it. So yeah, a prime example of something in playtest that we ask for and don't get, as always, guys. So sad as it is. Am I feeling Rung isn't working though? Rung is working. I'm sure it is. Yeah. Action wheel. The kunai takes 3 seconds to make contact, so you lose 760 per kunai. Probably. I've not done exact calculations, but probably yeah. I don't like kunai. The healed is going to run off. I don't even mean by that. Yes, 20 beats. So basically, the bot should heal consistently and not break when the kunai is tossed. There should be no break in healing at all. Yeah, but even then, it's not a lot, is it? If we're honest. I'd rather have Zor, Rick Pines. Yeah, same. What about the cons then? Yeah, I can show the con one while we're here, I think. It's not much different. I've lost where it is now. There it is. I'm sure I've got the conversion. Have I? And there is Bido. Who? Let's put it on Rook. Well, it hasn't got much HP. But we'll give it a go with Rook. We'll see if it's any different. And we'll go in like zone 13 again and test it out. Oh, I need a con squad, don't I? I've got a con squad in slot 2, is it? Yeah. Hang on a minute, have we got a 5-star? You don't got a 5-star healers? Okay, that's interesting. Well, we'll see how that goes then. We'll go in zone 12 then. Berserk's putting in to fix the way healers work too. They run away from transforming bots. They always have, sadly. There's some bots they didn't, but I think they might have fixed that. But yeah. Oh, cool. Now we've got no Titan, so we can actually test it properly now. Oh no, 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 no. Don't you dare die. Don't you dare. Okay, we can watch it now. So there we go. He's healing. I'm sure I'll put it on. There's a kunai. Just healing a bit. This is what happens when you put on a level 1 heal or something. What is that? What is he even doing? That's just weird. I want to see that animation again. That's just bizarre. What is that? He sort of has a bit of a fit and then throws a grenade. I want to see it again. I'm just baffled by it. But there it is. Look at that. He sort of spins. Oh my days. Transformers Dance Wars. Whoop, whoop. Grenade. Oh my god. It's so bad. It's so bad. But yeah. Hey, he's level 10 at least. Cool. But yeah, that is it for today's stream. So a bit of a long stream, but thank you everyone for joining in. So as I mentioned earlier, we are going to get some more codes. So apologies, I have asked Dale, and I should be getting them shortly. We're going to do a massive giveaway. Hopefully, I'm asking if we can get double the codes, just because we've not had them for like a month now already. But yeah, Unpopular Opinion series coming soon. I'm going to post a shortly later. Let me know what you think. Do you like these shorts? Just something different I'm kind of doing. Just a bit of fun more than anything. Just to sort of show new features. We've got the top 10 bots for HQ18 coming soon. We've got all the 5-star batches rated for HQ18. We've got the exclusive on the new bots coming soon. We've got some content for new players. I had a lot of new players hit me up saying, listen, Wozza, you do a lot of stuff, but it's all around the top end of the game. Can we have something for new players? And yeah, I'm considering doing something for newer players and trying to help you guys out. So that'll hopefully come soon as well. And like I said, plenty more content of everything else as well. So watch out for that, all coming soon, as well as all the usual content from the streams and everything else as well. So yeah, make sure you subscribe, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will see you next Thursday. And peace out, guys.